this is going to be my thoughts, opinions, and reactions to EA's E3 press conference for 2017, the games they talked about, the things that we're going to be looking at playing this holiday and going on into 2018. So we're going to start with the very beginning of the press conference. So the first thing we got up is Madden. They basically just brought out a whole bunch of guys with drum kits and just beating them to death. They all got TB12 jerseys on. If you don't know who TB12 is, that's Tom Brady. Now, I'm not going to hate on the Tom Brady thing because I am a Tom Brady fan. I love Tom Brady. I'm a New England Patriot fan. That's not going to change one bit. But I'm not going to lie. This was some cringe-worthy stuff. It was crazy. Like, you went through all this to start a show out about Madden, and I really don't know exactly what they were really going for. It has to be a hard spot for EA to be in when you have games like Madden and NBA Live and FIFA, which we'll talk about those games later on in the press conference because those were here. It's kind of hard to talk about games that's always coming out every year. You have yearly iterations for. So I just think that was just real cringeworthy. Some people out there probably didn't enjoy it. To me, it just felt out of place and not a place that you would just bring out something like that. And honestly, probably not even start your conference with. So that just started it out on the low side for me. And I don't know about you, but I don't play Madden for the story. Even on 2K, I don't really play the story. It's mostly just to play the my player, the my park mode, to go in and play with my friends and, you know, be able to play 5-on-5 basketball the way that it should be. They actually announced that there is a story component to it, and it's called The Long Shot, and it's part of Madden 2018. So they're actually adding single player to the game. So there's going to be people out there that like that. It's not for me. I just honestly didn't feel like the whole beginning first 2 minutes of your conference should have been dedicated to Madden. But guess you got to fill that void because there's not too much other stuff you can do. Next up, we got the sizzle reel because every conference isn't complete unless it has a sizzle reel to show off a bunch of the games that they have that's coming out or that they already talked about or it has already came out last year to basically remind you that that game is still relevant. But that's what the sizzle reel was. They just showed up a bunch of the games that's coming out that are already out. Everybody does it at this point. I can take it or leave it. I just wanted something different, but that's okay because they got to fill the space somehow. Next up, we have Battlefield 1. And the first thing they started out with was a montage of Battlefield moments. Now, anybody that's played Battlefield knows about Battlefield moments. Battlefield moments are those crazy, over-the-hill, snipe somebody as you're jumping out of a helicopter, and snipe somebody that's in a jet on the other side of the map and get that kill. That is a Battlefield 1 moment. I have never done that in my life, but I have done some things that were pretty crazy. It's amazing when you pull those things off. The only problem I have with it being here is it's not the place for it. E3 is a place where you come to see new games and celebrate things that are coming out this year and next year, not what's happened in the past. Not saying that that doesn't have its place. That's why people like Bungie have their community page on their website where they do movies of the week and they let people know about the cool things that people are doing out there in their game. You don't see that in the E3 press conference. You might see it in their own reveal stream where they're talking about what the community did in between, but you're not going to see it on a huge international level like E3 where press and everybody's there to see your game. I just don't know. I'm not saying it was wrong. I just think it was out of place. On the other hand, kudos to anybody that made that sizzle reel. That was really cool. I know that you're super proud because if you put a lot of time into this game, it's really nice to be recognized by, you know, the company that made and produced the game, throw you in their presentation like that. That's actually pretty cool. So I'm not going to hate on that. So of course, following this, Battlefield 1 was on display. They talked about the 2 new night maps that's coming to the game, Neville Nice and Press de Tahar. Neville Nice will be releasing in June of this year, and Press Tahar will be released in July of this year. So definitely looking forward to those night maps when it comes to Battlefield 1. Now, my only problem with Battlefield 1 is it's already been out. Why are we talking about a game that released in October last year? You know, there's no reason to be talking about this. Like I said, E3 is about what's coming out this year, what's coming out next year. What are we looking forward to in the future or on the horizon of games coming out? It's just, I don't know. People love Battlefield. I love Battlefield. I just don't feel like you should be talking about DLC for Battlefield, which wasn't the only piece of DLC that they announced for this year. In the name of Tassar, 6 maps, the Russian army, they're all coming to Battlefield 1 this September. So on top of the night maps and everything that's coming over the summer, you're getting this big expansion coming into September. So take it how you will. If you love Battlefield 1, you're going to be enjoying this more. Me personally, in September, I already know I'm going to be playing Destiny, and Battlefield 1 will probably be an afterthought. I will jump into it to play some of this stuff, because I do have the Season Pass, and people that have the Season Pass, I believe, get this for free. That's cool. But honestly, my whole thought process on what Battlefield 1 has done compared to other Battlefields, I think the game itself is suffering because DLC has been coming out so slow. By this time in Battlefield 4's life, half of that game was already out. Half of all the DLC was out. It's crazy, and this is like, I think only the second major expansion for the game, and they're talking about almost a calendar year after the games come out. I don't know. Battlefield 1 is great, but it just makes me upset to see that they're putting this much focus into their press conference, which was about a good 10 minutes of stage time on Battlefield 1 talking about DLC. Next on the EA agenda was eSports, which I don't care about. I am a competitive gamer. I'm not going to lie. I love playing Destiny competitive. I'm not super hardcore into it, but I can understand why people love doing this, and I can understand why people love doing it for money. That's cool. But why is this at E3? Why isn't this something separate? Why are you talking about this on the biggest stage, putting up a video talking about he's come from nowhere and all this other crazy stuff about people playing esports on your games? I understand that people love it, but why is that a part of your conference? That's what I want to stress the most. Sometimes EA's conferences come off so bad because they add stuff to it that shouldn't be there. Like, I don't want to see people on stage celebrating that they just won a tournament in an esport. If that was the case, I would have watched the esport. I would have watched the actual event as it was going on. I don't need to watch E3 to see that. That's just something that I always hated about presentations, especially when you're talking to a wide amount of people across the whole world about your games and stuff. Don't bring esports into it. Talk about esports as a subplot to what it's going to do for your game versus just dedicating a whole 2.5-3 minutes of your conference to it, which isn't a lot in the grand scheme of things, but you only have so much time to talk about these games you got coming out. Just everybody from now going forward, please keep it to a minimum, but don't let it get out of hand, because next thing you know, this is going to be the next sizzle reel. Next up, FIFA. FIFA definitely belongs on this stage. It's the #1 sports game in the world. I mean, it sells millions of copies of it. And honestly, with it being the first time that PlayStation logo popped up in the beginning of the trailer, they definitely want to let people know that Microsoft does not have the marketing deals for this game anymore, and you can get it on PlayStation, and all the goodies are going to probably be over there. They'll probably get the legends and all that other stuff. Even if they do that, I don't know. But FIFA is now marketed by PlayStation, and Microsoft doesn't have that anymore. And FIFA's a really good game. I haven't really played FIFA since 2015, I believe. And I loved it when I played. I do have friends that if they want to play, I do have them, and I do jump in and play every once in a while. But FIFA belongs on this stage and really can't knock what they have going on in that regard with that game. It's an awesome game. But like everything else, it's kind of hard to bring up the excitement for this game every year because it does come out yearly. And some people wish that they probably just kept it to even smaller of a footnote when it came to the conference. But I don't have a problem with how much time they spend on FIFA because, like I said, it sells gangbusters for them. And they want to make sure that everything they change in that game, everybody knows about. Next up is like a real funny part, but it's not, because I know he was super nervous, and I can only imagine if I was on that stage how I might have felt. but I deal with people on a day-to-day basis in real life, so I don't know if that was something to do with it. But they brung out a YouTuber. His name is Jesse Willens. He definitely froze up in the opportunity that EA gave him when he was talking about Need for Speed Payback. Hey, I'm not going to knock him. I mean, he had the opportunity to get up there. I know they have a teleprompter there, so I don't know if it was something wrong with it, but honestly, it was pretty bad, and I know he's probably going to get a lot of jokes on his Twitter, because I guarantee you, if you actually type him in Google, he's probably trending right now when it comes to just that overall. Now, it may sound like I'm actually hating on this conference so far, but it's just that certain parts of it were just dry. It just happened to be at the very beginning of it. And there were some good parts in there, but most of it, for the most part, was pretty mediocre, I should say. Probably even worse than mediocre. But this is where it really picks up, because Need for Speed Payback literally was a great video. I felt like I was watching Need for Speed smashed together with Fast and the Furious when it came to stealing cars. And Burnout Takedown was something that I saw in there too, because when you're actually racing, or not racing, but when you're chasing after the truck in the video, you really hit up against other cars, and it does like that slow motion effect when you take down another opponent and their car goes flying, and it turns the camera and it shows it in all its 4K glory. That was really nice. So I am really looking forward to that game. I love the Burnout series. I love Paradise. I love Takedown. My favorite Need for Speed is still, to this day, the first Need for Speed Most Wanted that was on 360. That was an awesome game. I just like the way that you raced and just the actual story that was in that game. So I'm hoping this is going to be something I can sink my teeth into, because I haven't had a really good arcade racer other than Forza Horizon 3, which is a great game in its own right. But Need for Speed games are awesome, and I hope this one really delivers. No Way Out was the next game up, and if you know anything about the game Brothers, this is the same development house that made that game, which was you had to play with one controller, and each thumbstick control each brother. It was a really good game. I enjoyed it immensely. Really nice story. It was good, and it was groundbreaking for what it did, because it's more think of like a twin stick shooter, but co-op fashion, where you're literally doing the job of two people with one controller, and it was different, and it was actually really refreshing to see that. Well, they did something like that again, and this game was called A Way Out. The thing about A Way Out is you can only play this game in co-op. Now, you can do it on couch co-op, or you can do it through internet or online co-op, but that's the only way you can play this game. The only way you can actually progress in this game is by playing with someone else, and that was awesome to hear. The crowd literally just started screaming out like, yeah, they couldn't believe it, because couch co-op games have like gone the way of the dodo literally over the last few years. Not too many games actually do it. It's all online co-op. And the fact that this guy made a game dedicated to just that is awesome. And then his energy level on the stage was so infectious. It's like, I wish everybody did that. I wish everybody showed that much passion in their game. Not saying that other developers don't show the passion like that, but when he was on stage, you can tell that he was just happy to be there and happy to know that people enjoyed what they were watching in the trailer of his game. So I definitely want to give him a shout out, because his energy level was amazing. I wish I knew his name. I can't think of his name right now. But yeah, thumbs up. Definitely looking forward to this game, because this is a really, really cool looking game. And it's something that you can play with like your family member, your wife, your brother, anybody like that. So definitely looking to pick this game up when it finally releases. Next, they moved into, I want to say, their interactive portion of the presentation. They talked about a new part of their development cycle called Seed, where it's search for extraordinary experience division. Don't really know what they're trying to get out of that, but that's something that they actually started, and they're actually using that to look for, I guess, interactive gaming experiences. I don't know. But they did show right after that a couple of screenshots of Madden 18 on Xbox One Scorpio, and just talking about the full 4K resolution that you can get out of that system with the 6 teraflops. They made a really big statement about that, saying that this is something that wouldn't be possible, and this is the first time that they were able to get this much out of a console itself. You wouldn't be able to really see it up close to person unless you were watching it in 4K, which I don't know if this actual presentation was in. I don't think so. Maybe we'll see a lot more of this at Microsoft's conference because they will be streaming on Mixer, and Mixer does support 4K streaming, so you can actually watch that on your 4K TV and get the whole benefit of everything that they're going to be showing in glorious 4K for the Xbox One Scorpio, or whatever they're going to be calling it. So that was something that they just showed. Gave a couple of nods to Microsoft in there about their new console coming out, and kind of surprised that they did that, but not really, because they have a really good working relationship with EA because of EA Access and everything. So nice shout out to the Scorpio in that regard. Now EA actually came out and put out a teaser trailer for the new IP Anthem. Anthem is made by BioWare, the BioWare that made the original trilogy of Mass Effect games. That is the BioWare that I am happy to see making this game. It's supposed to be a Destiny killer. That is what the rumors are. Haven't really seen a lot of it, but honestly, just looking at the trailer itself, not a lot to go off of. It looks really interesting. It's kind of peculiar that they actually announced it on their stage, where they kind of took a little bit of that punching power away from Microsoft for it being something that was a surprise at their conference. But I guess EA owns it, so they can do whatever they want to do with it. But overall, this will be a really big thing for Scorpio. Scorpio will be able to show what this game is 100% capable of. I know it's not going to be any type of exclusive, anything like that. It may not even have exclusive DLC. Don't know anything about that. PC will probably still be the best place to play it. But honestly, for people that are going to get the Scorpio or people that like consoles, you're going to see what this game can really do tomorrow on Microsoft's stage. So make sure you tune in at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. Actually, if you have an Xbox One, watch it on Mixer if you have a 4K TV, because you'll be able to see all of its glory in 4K by watching it right on their press conference. Definitely looking forward to this game. Can't wait to see more of it tomorrow. So EA is in the business of bringing NBA Live 18 out. Wow. First of all, the guy came on stage and said, "We rebuilt this game from the ground up." What? Didn't you do that with the last game and the game before that? And the game that you canceled before that, before you decided not to bring it out? And even the game before that, you kept saying that we're rebuilding the game. The game is completely different. And over the last 2 years, this game has seen changes that you won't believe. Wow. First of all, NBA 2K is the better basketball game. I'm sorry for the people out there like NBA Live. I understand that it must be a lot of you guys out there that play this game, because for them to keep canceling and bringing it and redoing it and doing it again and bringing it out again and doing this and doing that, it must be a lot of you out there. I just don't know who you are. Me personally, everybody I know plays 2K. I just can't see in any world where this game can even come close to what the game 2K gives you. Now, I understand competition is good. That is always going to be the case. And I definitely think there's a place for a game like NBA out there. It's just weird to me that they keep redoing it and keep bringing it back, and then they keep taking it away and doing this and doing that. And it's always to the detriment of the game, and it never lives up to the hype that they want this game to be at. I'm just going to skip this one. I'm going to let somebody else beta test this game, and you tell me in the comment sections 4 or 5 months from now when this game comes out how good it was. So next they had a little short section about EA Access, Origin Access. Basically the whole vote for both of those services are going to be wide open. For the whole week of E3, you'll be able to play everything that's in there, from the demos, the games, the trials, everything. Everything's going to be available for anybody that wants to play during the week of E3. Unfortunately, PlayStation doesn't have EA Access, but you will still have access to a lot of the trials, so you can still play those during the week of E3. And now, finally, the very last game of this presentation, Star Wars Battlefront 2. It has 3 times the content of its predecessor. All DLC will be free for anyone that owns the game. They heard our feedback, and that is the best way to keep the community together and moving on until the next game comes out, which more likely will be Battlefront 3 in the next couple of years. Star Wars Battlefront 2 is an amazing looking game. And honestly, the first one was no slouch in that regard either. The sounds, the ambience, the universe, it was just very well done by DICE. I love what they did when they put this all together, and it looks like they're doing that even more and bigger in Battlefront 2. Honestly, the girl they had on stage, she looked amazing. I really like how she was just super excited to be up on the stage to actually talk about it. Now, she is playing the main protagonist in a single player, leader of the Inferno Squad, which is really cool to see how they're going to bridge the gap between episode 6 and episode 7, which was Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens. So you're going to be able to see that story unfold right in the actual single player of a Star Wars game, which is amazing. Can't wait to see that. Now, the only problem I had with this part of the conference was it was too long. The Star Wars Battlefront gameplay reveal for multiplayer shouldn't be 30 minutes long. That's crazy. Just show us a little bit of it. Show us little snippets of what the multiplayer looks like. Show us the HUD. Show us little things like that, and we'll be perfectly fine. But they literally showed 30 minutes of it, and they had iJustine and a couple other people up there shoutcasting it, and it just was discombobulated and really wasn't into it. It was cool to watch it. I think the people playing it had an amazing time, but it just didn't demo well for somebody that actually was watching that on TV. I just felt like I was just wasting my time at that point. Once I saw the little things I wanted to see, it was really cool, and I really appreciated what they are actually trying to do, but I just think it went way too long. Now, for the finale, what do I give this press conference? Well, just on the merit that it was actually something that I felt cringeworthy in parts, but I really enjoyed in others. I can't give it anything higher than a 6.5, mostly because it started super slow, really good in the middle, and then part of the Star Wars was really good, but then that 30 minutes worth of gameplay, multiplayer reveal at the end just took me completely out of it again. I think when you're talking about a presentation, when you're talking to the masses, you need to be in and out, game. I don't actually have a problem with people talking in presentations, but when you have lows like 30 minutes worth of gameplay reveal in your conference, that's crazy. People are going to be putting up video, because they even said that these people will be putting up video of what they saw in these games in Battlefield and in Battlefront. I can wait to see that later on. That doesn't have to be in your press conference. But I enjoyed it. It was not the worst EA press conference ever. It was better than last year. I definitely believe it was better than last year. It definitely was way better than the year before that. So I give it a 6 out of 5. I'll just give it a flat 6 out of 5. It was enjoyable. It wasn't horrible. It was like teetering on good and mediocre, but that's okay. That's just my opinion. You may have enjoyed it. But hey, tomorrow, 5 p.m., I'm gonna be doing this all over again, watching the Xbox actual reveal, and then right after that, I'm gonna put a video together talking about my thoughts on that. I don't know, maybe that one I'll live stream. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I don't know. But definitely, guys, thanks for sticking through this long ass 24-minute video talking about my thoughts on the EA press conference. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that bell for the notification so you can know about other E3 videos and other content that comes live on the channel. And like I said, I appreciate you guys. You guys have a great weekend, and I will talk to you in the next video. Peace.